Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here with, I would say, a pretty significant update regarding Helldivers 2 and sales data. It was just revealed that Helldivers 2 has surpassed 15 million players. Being reported by Gaming Bolt, they say Helldivers 2 was without a doubt one of 2024's biggest success stories, coming out of nowhere in the year's early months and taking the entire industry by storm. Thanks to steady post-launch support by developer Arrowhead Game Studios, the multiplayer shooter has continued to attract players in large numbers as the months have rolled by, and as revealed recently, has crossed another major milestone on that front. At the recent Golden Joystick Awards, Helldivers 2 won the Best Multiplayer category, and in their acceptance speech, members of the development team revealed that the game has now surpassed 15 million players worldwide across all platforms. In May, it was announced that the game had sold over 12 million units, becoming the fastest-selling PlayStation published game of all time. So a huge milestone for Helldivers 2, 15 million players equals 15 million sales, or very close to that, right? And so, yeah, as it says here, earlier this year, 12 million units were sold, making it the fastest-selling PS Studios title of all time. Kind of crazy to think, but it just continues to climb, and it's going to be interesting to see what the long-term future of Helldivers looks like. But when it comes to talking about the Golden Joystick Awards, I wanted to let you guys know what Sony Studios and PS5 exclusives ended up winning awards. We have Best Storytelling going to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We have Best Visual Design going to Black Myth: Wukong. Best Multiplayer Game, as mentioned earlier, to Helldivers 2. Best Audio Design going to Astrobot. And then on top of that, we have Studio of the Year going to Team Asobi, who developed Astrobot. Best Soundtrack goes to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Best Game Trailer, Helldivers 2. Continuing on here, we're also looking at Helldivers 2 winning Console Game of the Year, as well as the Critics' Choice Award, and Ultimate Game of the Year ended up going to Black Myth: Wukong. So there you go. When it comes to the Golden Joystick Awards, Sony and PS5 exclusives cleaned up. Moving on to the next set of topics, we're talking about Final Fantasy VII, specifically the third entry in the Remake series, and we have some new information to go over here. First, we're starting with Square Enix acknowledging the difficulty of the Platinum Trophy. It says here, being reported by WCCF Tech, the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director recently apologized for the difficult Platinum Trophy of the game, vowing to never make another so difficult in the future. Speaking with Daily Star, director Naoki Hamaguchi discussed the difficult Platinum Trophy, which requires multiple playthroughs of the game and completing mini-games at hard difficulty. He apologized for how difficult it is to unlock and assured that he would never make one so difficult to obtain again, so trophy hunters should have far fewer problems mastering the third and final part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. Something else that I would say is pretty important, Naoki Yamaguchi revealed, is that there's going to be no DLC for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the reason he gave is that they are fully focused on completing the third and final entry for the remake. It's basically all hands on deck right now. They're fully immersed in that and trying to get it completed as quickly as possible. But the final thing here regarding Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is Yamaguchi revealing that he wants to add a different twist for a new and exciting experience. He says here, I play a lot of games, a lot of open world games, and something I feel while playing a lot of these games is that you've got the core mechanics or their fighting systems, and most of the content you'll encounter, most of the places you go, most of what you'll be doing can get repetitive. These games just use the same mechanics. There are no real changes. There's nothing new to experience around the different regions of these worlds. Obviously, there's a great battle system in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and there's a lot of fun to be had in fighting the various different monsters in each region, but I wanted it to feel like a breath of fresh air when you entered each different region. That you feel like there's something new and exciting to do when you enter a new area, that you can experience something different with the mechanics. That's why we wanted to put so many different mini games in, and I feel we really managed to achieve our goal with that. It's simply a breath of fresh air in an open world, or open field as we call it in Rebirth. So are we going to continue with the same balance going forward? Have we reached perfection? I think if we did just do the same thing again for the third game in the series, then it wouldn't really be very new or exciting anymore. I want to add a different twist, rearrange things slightly for the next game, and have a slightly different look to things. We don't just want to make more of the same, we want to make new and exciting experiences. So I just wanted to kind of let you know that this is what their plan is for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. I think a lot of people really did enjoy the approach that Square ended up taking with Rebirth, but they're making it known here that they're not just going to copy and paste the formula that they implemented for Rebirth, and they're going to shake things up once again in Part 3 to keep it fresh. Moving on to the next topic, we have an update on Silent Hill 2, specifically regarding the PS5 Pro issue being reported by WCCF Tech. It says a new Silent Hill 2 patch is now live on PC and PlayStation 5, addressing some PS5 Pro specific issues and more. The 1.06 patch focuses on fixing various issues on both platforms, including the widely reported visual glitches for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Other PS5 specific fixes include audio, map and blocker fixes, boss animations, and more. Now, this is a title specifically for PS5 Pro that a lot of fans were very frustrated with because it was actually looking slightly worse and running slightly worse than the base PS5 version, which obviously is unacceptable for a game that is PS5 Pro enhanced. So here we go. The official patch is out. Bloober Team did just recently acknowledge the issues, saying they were working on it, and now the fix is there. So I'm curious if you have played Silent Hill 2 Remake with this new patch. Has it corrected the issue? How is it looking? How is it running on the PS5 Pro? Moving on to the next topic, MLB The Show 25 has been announced early due to backlash, apparently. Being reported by Push Square, it says, back when MLB The Show 24 launched, we didn't really have any problems with Diamond Dynasty, the game's flagship team-building mode. Of course, it's difficult to predict how the community will adjust to certain changes over time, and while we figured the focus on sets and seasons would keep players engaged all year long, the feedback has been brutal for San Diego Studio. But first, let's roll it back. The developer wanted to adjust the season-long power creep that occurs in team building modes like Ultimate Team. If you've ever played one of these modes before, you'll know cards start out with relatively reasonable ratings and then slowly get replaced as the months pass by. So your best card may be an 89 on day 1, but it'll probably be a 99 by the time you've been playing for 6 months. MLB The Show 24 introduced 99s on launch day, but it associated them with seasons. The idea was to funnel in a new batch of desirable cards each season to keep the game engaging all year long, but the catch was that you couldn't use cards you'd earned in previous seasons in current competitive modes. As you can imagine, that went down like a lead balloon. Now with Season 4, the developers are effectively removing the restrictions, saying all of your cards will be available all the time. Furthermore, it's making the unprecedented move to confirm it will not be repeating this format in MLB The Show 25, which is due out next year. In fact, so ferocious has the backlash been that it's encouraging players to come back to MLB The Show 24 now in order to get a head start in next year's game. So I thought this was worth mentioning. We don't really cover MLB The Show here that often, but it is a first-party developed PlayStation title. A first-party studio makes a new MLB game every year, and I actually had no idea, right? I don't play MLB The Show, but apparently this new system they implemented really did not go down well, and players were very frustrated with it. And I did notice that they announced MLB The Show 25 a bit earlier than usual, and now I know why. So it's good to see that they have responded to the backlash in the way that all the players, I'm assuming, were hoping, which was kind of reversing course and, not moving forward with this new system. Moving on to the next topic of the video, we are talking about the PlayStation Portal 4.0 firmware update. We did recently talk about how this introduced the cloud streaming beta, but something else I wanted to mention here is that apparently it did fix a pretty significant issue that a lot of players were having, and that is a stuttering issue. So there have been multiple reports online that this issue that has been persistent has now been fixed finally with the latest firmware update. And I've been seeing people posting about this, saying that they're actually able to enjoy their 60 FPS games, which apparently that's where it was like most noticeable, much more so now when playing on the portal. Moving on to the final topic of the video, we are talking about GTA 6. During the Golden Joystick Awards, this title was nominated for Most Anticipated Game, unsurprisingly, and somebody from Rockstar, although they don't list the name here of the individual for some reason, but somebody from Rockstar accepted this award, and they said there's an incredible amount of people doing amazing things on Grand Theft Auto 6, absolutely mind-blowing things. So it's an honor to be able to come up here and accept this award on everyone's behalf. I wish more of us could be here. Thank you very much, everybody, and yeah, more to come, end quote. So nothing major here, but, you know, we really don't hear anything at all from Rockstar in regards to GTA 6. So even something this small, I think gets people pretty hyped. You know, they're hyping up the game, saying they're doing some mind-blowing things, and also letting us know that there's more to come. And I think people are absolutely anticipating trailer number 2 in the coming weeks, right? I think there's this expectation that we're going to get trailer number 2 before the end of the year. There's no confirmation of that, of course. It's purely speculative, but it's reasonable, I would say. So there you go. Just wanted to give you that little update for GTA 6 as well. That's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.